Guys, I made a $25,000 mistake because for 7 straight years, I had a guy doing my taxes. He was not a CPA. He was not even an enrolled agent. And because of that, I ended up throwing away tons of documentation. I missed a tiny little red flag on my paperwork. And guess what? The IRS, they came after me. Now, this was one of the biggest money mistakes that I've ever made. And so on this quick video, I want to help you avoid this mistake so you don't let this thing happen to you like it happened to me. Now, this story is real and it's painful, and honestly, it's a little bit embarrassing, right? Just being real with you. But I want to be as transparent as possible, because if this story can help just one person, then it's worth telling. This story could help some of you save thousands of dollars, years of stress, and more importantly than anything, it can help you avoid an IRS audit that you really don't want. Now, here's what happened. Back in the year 2013, I started selling on eBay. Now, why did I start selling on eBay? Because it wasn't for fun and it wasn't just as a hobby, right? But here's what happened. I got sick and tired of working these little part-time jobs for $8 and $9 and $10 an hour, right? I was sick of that, sitting there wasting time. So I said to myself, how can I make money on my own, maybe using the internet, to help pay for my daughter's school, college? She wanted to go to college, but there was no money saved up for it. So I needed the money, right? Because I didn't want my daughter having student loans for the next 10, 20 years of her life like I did. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sell. First, it was Amazon, right? But then eBay, because eBay, you could sell used items more readily in any category on eBay back in 2013. So I said, okay, so from 2013 to 2019, that little side hustle selling on eBay, it made me over $100,000 just doing it part-time here and there, 10 to 15 hours a week. But here's the deal. Here's the big problem with that. I had absolutely no idea how to manage a business, how to manage inventory, how to manage cost of goods sold. I didn't know much about taxes. I didn't know what to document. I didn't know what to keep and what to throw out, what to record. I didn't know what to write off. I didn't know what counted as an expense. I didn't know anything, right? So what did I do? During that time, I had a guy, right? You know, one of those, yeah, he does taxes from his house type of guys. He's legit. Oh, he's cheap, right? He'll take care of you type of guys. This guy was not a CPA. He wasn't an enrolled agent. So he couldn't tell me what to do and what not to do. He didn't do any advising. He just got my taxes and did my taxes. Let me know in the comments below if you got a person that just does your taxes. Let me know down in the comments, because later on in this video, I'm going to help you avoid just having a guy. Now, like I said, he wasn't a tax consultant. He just, helped me file my taxes. Now look, this guy looked legit. He sounded legit. He did lots of people's taxes out of his home. And so I trusted him, right? Huge mistake. Biggest money mistake of my life, and I didn't know it just yet. Because you fast forward to about 2019, 2020, I got a letter from the IRS. Not an email, right? Not a phone call, but I got a letter. You know, one of those letters that you think might have something to do with you getting some type of refund, right? And so I opened the letter, right? And bam, we're going to audit you. My stomach kind of dropped a little bit, but I wasn't tripping because I had a guy who did my taxes. So I'm cool. But as I read the letter, I soon discovered that there was a red flag. And the red flag had something to do with the fact that I had too many write-offs. I began to get a little nervous after I read the letter, because I know that I had really thrown everything away, right? I had kept poor records. I didn't really have records. I didn't have any receipts. I had no documentation. I had nothing really to come back to the IRS and say, no, look, this was all legit. And let me tell you this right now before I go further. The IRS, they're just mean for no reason, right? They don't care about your situation. They don't care who did your taxes. They don't care that you had a guy. They see a mistake and they want their money. So ultimately, I went back and forth with the IRS, with the contact that was here local. And trust me, that's a battle that you really don't want, okay? After all was said and done with the IRS, I ended up owing the IRS $25,000 in back federal taxes. Guys, that's $25,000 that I wasn't sure where I was going to come up with to actually pay them. right? All because I didn't file my taxes in the right way. And hey, it was on me. I shouldn't have just had a guy. I should have had a legitimate person helping me and doing my taxes for me. So I take full responsibility for it. It's a mistake I made. Guess what? I got to fix it. That moment taught me a few things about money, about business, and about taxes. The first thing it taught me was that taxes aren't a joke. The IRS don't play. When you mess up their money, they want their money. And they're going to be mean and rude and disrespectful, and they're going to do whatever they can to get their money. And I learned that having a guy do your taxes, that's not a strategy for good business. You must have a professional person helping you with your taxes. I learned that taxes, federal taxes, that's not a place to be trying to cut corners. That's not a place to be trying to get cute. And that's definitely not a place to try to save a few dollars by letting just anybody handle it, right? Who has no credentials, who doesn't teach you the right way to do it. So fast forward about a year down the road, I did everything I can to pay off the IRS as soon as possible. When I finally paid that $25,000 off, I made myself a promise. Here's the promise. Never again. That's the promise. So here's what I did. I went out and I scheduled appointments with 3 or 4 actual real CPAs locally. Real professionals with real training, with real credentials and real knowledge, right? Not just somebody with a laptop in a living room somewhere doing people's taxes when they come through. No, I didn't want that. So let me tell you what to look for when you go get a CPA. Now listen, for you, maybe your situation is different than me. You don't have a business or you just have very easy to do taxes. That's cool. But listen to me. It's still worth having a good, solid professional do your taxes instead of just anybody. Now, let me explain to you exactly what to look for in that good, solid professional who you want to have do your taxes, the CPA. Guys, before I tell you exactly how to go out and find yourself the right CPA to help you with your taxes, if you're serious about managing your money the right way, my new book, Manage Your Way to Millions, is now available right now on Amazon. You can go to manageyourwaytomillions.com and pick yourself up a copy. It's the blueprint that I wish I had before all this stuff happened. Do yourself a favor and go to manageyourwaytomillions.com and grab your copy. Now, let's get back to the video. Now, here's the deal, guys. When I finally sat down with real CPAs, I learned what I should have known the whole time. So I want to give you some things to know before you bring on a good, solid CPA to help you with your money, to help you save money, stress, and possibly avoid the IRS from auditing you again. And if they do audit you, you got all your ducks in a row when you got the right CPA. So the first thing is this, and this is what I had to do when I was fed up with having the wrong person help me manage my taxes. The first thing is the person must be at least an enrolled agent. Preferably, I like to deal with straight up CPAs, but enrolled agents are fine too. No exceptions to this rule. Not your cousin, okay? Not your coworker's friend who does their taxes for the last 5 or 10 years. Not somebody who just does taxes on the side. You got to get you a real credentialed professional, right? Really important to add a good, solid CPA or enrolled agent to your team to help you manage your wealth, your business, your taxes along the way. Super important. The second thing is this. When I was looking for the right CPA, I needed a CPA that knew how to deal with real estate because I own rental property. I needed a CPA that knew how to deal with cost of goods sold and knew how to deal with inventory because I was still, had some eBay. I was still selling a little bit on eBay here and there. I needed a person that was experienced with my type of income. Right? So look, if you got side hustle income, you got rental income, you got income from a small business, a YouTube channel, whatever, you resell on eBay, your CPA must understand that category of business. They need to have experience with clients who have the types of businesses that you have or who have had the type of situation financially that you have, right? You don't want the CPA or the enrolled agent learning while doing your tax returns, right? That's not good. You want some experience. I wanted some experience. Now, the third thing is you want them to be proactive, not just reactive. In other words, a really good CPA, they don't just talk to you in April, right? Right before tax season. right? Because April 15th is the tax deadline. So you don't want somebody that you can just deal with right around March and April. No, you want somebody that you can reach out to in July if you have a question, or in August to sit down and talk to. So you want a CPA that is teaching you strategy along the way throughout the tax year, telling you what moves to make before the IRS comes with questions, right? That's the type of CPA or enrolled agent you want. A person that is available to help do some consulting along the way, not just file my taxes. Now, the fourth thing you want to look for in a good CPA or a good EA is that they always require you to provide them with documentation. All this does really is protect you, right? And you want them to explain to you about how to preserve your documentation for your records. They should be telling you that and teaching you that just to shield you against the big mistake I made, which was throwing everything away, right? If your tax preparer right now never asked you for receipts, for logs, for 1099s, for your mileage or anything like that, and they just kind of take your word for everything, that feels like convenience right now, but in the long run, that could be a problem. Documentation is really your armor against an audit from the IRS. So you need to have a tax preparer or a CPA that requires you to provide them with documentation. Very important. Now, the fifth thing is this. Their fees should be transparent. When you go to get a CPA or an enrolled agent to help you with your taxes and tax planning and tax strategy, they ought to be able to show you just, hey, this is exactly what we charge for this, and this. When the IRS sends you a letter, you don't want someone who sort of disappears, right? You want somebody who has experience dealing with the IRS and then shows you, hey, this is the fees that we charge for dealing with the IRS and sending information to the IRS and helping you through an audit. So you want someone who stands behind their fees and their work and they're transparent about all of it. So listen, those are the 5 things that I learned when I went out and I interviewed CPAs to help me with my businesses and with my taxes and with my tax strategy moving forward after this audit. And so that's what I have now, a good solid CPA that teaches me along the way, right? After interviewing CPAs, I found one who pretty much checked all the boxes. So here's the final lesson that I want you to take away from this video, my mistake. Don't be like me. Don't learn the hard way. Taxes are not where you experiment. Taxes are not where you say, I got a guy. Taxes are where you legally cut corners, because one small mistake can cost you everything, right? Can cost you your peace, can cost you your time, and can cost you a whole lot more money. So look, if you got to spend $1,000 getting your taxes prepared because you're getting them done the right way, do it. It's money well spent with the right CPA or the right enrolled agent. Instead of looking for the cheap way out, no, I just want to spend $200 instead of spending $750, don't do it. If you can get the right person that really teaches you and checks all the boxes for a few $100s more to help you with taxes, do it. If you can get tax planning and tax strategies throughout the year instead of waiting till March to just hand somebody your taxes to do it. It's worth it. It could have saved me $25,000. Get a real CPA or a real enrolled agent. Interview several of them. Ask serious questions when you're talking to them. You need to bring them on your team, but you got to be strategic. You got to protect yourself and protect your future. Look, if you're serious about getting your money right, check out my full wealth building system called the 4 Steps to Maximize Your Money. Just go over to smartmoneybro.com. It's everything you need to master your money mindset, your money habits, and your money management, and your money multipliers too. Listen, if this video helped you, just think about this thing differently. Let me know in the comments below and smash the like button for me. And do me a favor and share this video with somebody who you think could benefit from this message. Guys, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.